Welcome back, guys. Today we're checking out a 12-inch Orion HCCA subwoofer that they sent me to review. But first off, I just wanted to say thank you to all my viewers. I really appreciate you guys. It means a lot that you watch my channel, and I just wanted you to know that. So let's go ahead and get started on this review. So usually I don't start off with the unboxing, but this thing was so impressive when I opened the box that I figured I should film it and show you guys. But this thing comes mounted on a 1-inch piece of MDF and it's bolted down. So the packaging on this sub is really nice, which is cool because, you know, these are heavy subs, and how many times have we all bought subs and they come damaged because the box is just crushed. So it's mounted on this panel, and you even have 2 handles on each side to pull this thing out of the box, and it's bolted down. So I just wanted to show you guys that. It's pretty cool. And so here we got it out of the box, and it's up on the bench so you guys can take a look at it. But wow, this thing is massive. And there you can see the bolts to that 1-inch thick plate, and you can see how incredibly massive this subwoofer is. Looks like the bumper kind of slid up a little bit off the magnet. I'll fix that in a minute. But we'll go ahead and get this top plate out. See, there's the 2 handles. Still can't get over that. It's pretty cool. And they even give you a template. Now this is a hard plastic template that has adhesive, so you can actually like stick it to a box and then jigsaw it out if you want, or just use it for a template. They also give you a self-adhesive back sealing ring to go on the box. So all these little cool details, man, I'm starting to get a good feeling about this between the packaging, the template, little things like that, the attention to detail. So now we're just using the included Allen wrench and removing these screws from the sub. And you will want to keep these screws, and I'll show you why here in a minute. But let's go ahead and get these out. So here's the hardware they give you, and this is why I told you to keep the screws, because they give you these steel plates, and you can use those screws with these plates. So like if you're using a 1-inch face box, you can stick these behind the wood, and it'll sandwich between the MDF and the wood and the sub to give it more strength if you're just using like 1-inch or 3/4. They also give you wood screws if you just want to straight screw it in. So you got 2 options there. Use the plates and kind of sandwich the wood, and that's actually going to be the strongest. Or you can just use the wood style screws that they provide. All right, now that that's all out of the way, here is the subwoofer, and this thing is a gorgeous looking sub, man. Really digging the way this thing looks, and it is a monster. So it's got 2 bolt holes on each corner, which is quite different. High roll surround. It's got an aluminum beauty ring bolted down. So it does have the hard dust cap with kind of the cool Orion lines built in there. There is no stitching on the surround, just glued. Man, this thing is huge. So you do have multiple spiders, spider hold down ring, large magnet bumper, and you have meshing over huge voice coil vents. You also have screw type Allen head terminals on each side. They look kind of small. They look like about 12 gauge, which I wish they were a little bigger for this type of sub. Red paint, you can see there the thick hold down ring on this has multiple spiders. I believe it has 3. Lots of venting, and this does have a 4-inch voice coil. It's 2,500 watts RMS rated, and it says 10,000 peak. Man, look at the huge vent holes in that with the mesh. That's definitely going to help keep things cool. So let's go ahead and get this thing flipped on the side. All right, so here's a better look of the side. You can see the huge 4-inch voice coil and the former in there. This is the most ridiculous looking backplate I've ever seen. It looks freaking awesome. Whoa. Look at that. Looks like something off a 4-stroke dirt bike back in the 90s. So this has Orion on it. It's got a bunch of machining. It's super thick. So this backplate is definitely going to keep things cool. It's got a huge magnet bumper. Lots of venting for that 4-inch voice coil in there. It does look like it's got the good black glue on there. And there is some venting right there on the voice coil former. So really cool looking beefy sub. check your dimensions because this thing has a 10.5-inch mounting depth. So this does require some space and it is heavy. So double or triple spiders, I can't really see in there to be able to tell. But let's go ahead and get this thing hooked up. All right, so I threw this in a 3 cubic foot box tuned to 32 hertz. I had to make an adapter ring because this box had an 11.25 cutout. This sub takes 11.5. And we're running it on the Orion HCCA 3000.1D SPLX. And I just recently did an amp dyno on this if you want to check it out. But I wanted to see how it sounded in real world and on this subwoofer. And obviously I didn't hard mount the amp, so stuff's just kind of laying here for the test. But man, this sub looks good, man. That adapter I made turned out pretty good too. Let's go ahead and get it cranked up and see what this thing does. We'll also do some sweeps and an SPL test. And don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, if you enjoy the content. So this sub sounds really good on this amp. I actually tried it on the Teramp Smart 5, and I like the way it sounds better on the Orion. It's just, the bass is just cleaner and just sounds a little bit better, which is crazy. And this sub can actually take more power than this 3K. Like, it's a good match, but if you want optimal, I definitely probably get a 5K if you're wanting to push it to its max for sure. But this amp does sound very good. All right, so let's see how loud we can get on this one setup. And I already did a sweep, and 38 hertz is the sweet spot in here on this sub. So let's see how loud this 112 can get off this Orion 3000 watt amp. $141.25. That's not bad off 112 and a 3K. Let's try 40 hertz just for fun. Louder at 38 hertz. This thing hits the lows super good, man. Let's try 36 hertz. Go a little below where it was peaking at. Yeah, almost 141 at 36 hertz. So this thing's hammering the lows pretty good. All right, guys. So this sub is very freaking loud, especially even just on a 3K. Even though this is a great 3K, it could definitely take more. But I couldn't believe the numbers it was hitting on a 3K. I think this is my loudest 12. I think even my Sundown X, I did 140.2 on a 5K. So this thing's getting loud, and it's pretty efficient, man. For a 4-inch voice coil, I mean, for it to get that loud on a 3K, that's pretty awesome, man. All right, well, let's head back to the shop. I'm going to roll around with this for a few days, and I'll give you guys my verdict and the final rundown on this sub. So I wanted to throw this on the scale. So 66 pounds, 4 ounces. So it is a monster. Okay, so this sub was very loud, very efficient for a 4-inch voice coil. And the sound quality was actually surprisingly very good for this type of subwoofer. It was super windy, hit the lows super good. I mean, the sound was very good. It was loud. It was efficient for a 4-inch voice coil, which is a plus. Definitely could have taken a 5K, but that 3K did a very good job on it and worked well. The sound quality of that Orion amp was very good. I was surprised when I compared it to the Tear amps. So the only gripe I have of this sub is these little side terminals. It looks like they might be 10 gauge, but they're definitely a tight fit, and even the basket kind of gets in the way a little bit. But that's literally the only thing I can find on this amp to complain about. Power handling was awesome. Sound quality was very good. It was very loud, got super windy. I mean, pretty much it did everything you could ask for. So if you guys are interested in picking one of these up, you can get them from bigjeffaudio.com. Use the coupon code HiFi to save some cash. But yeah, man, this sub kind of did it all. It was one of those type of subs. Super loud, super windy, very good sound quality, excellent power handling. Surprisingly efficient for a 4-ohm voice coil sub. The 3K did great, but yet it could even get louder because this thing could have taken a 5K. So all around, great subwoofer. It's a nice smooth sounding sub, not harsh, so it has decent punch, but it's a nice, smooth, deep sub. And you guys saw how low this thing hit on the runs. I mean, it was violently moving the rag at like 18 hertz. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.